10 fastest 1970s muscle cars over the quarter mile. In the 1970s, a muscle car wasn't judged by its looks or nameplate, it was judged by how fast it could conquer the quarter mile. At that time, the real test of a muscle car wasn't 0 to 60 miles per hour, it was the quarter mile. In this video, we're counting down the 10 fastest 1970s muscle cars over the quarter mile. These were raw, loud, tire-shredding machines that turned stoplights into starting lines. Buckle up, these aren't just cars, they're legends in steel and horsepower. 10. 1970 Ford Torino Cobra. When people think of fast Fords, the Mustang usually gets all the love. But in 1970, the Torino Cobra quietly proved it was a street strip sleeper. With understated looks and drag strip-focused engineering, this car was built to surprise anything lining up beside it. Under the hood sat a massive 429 cubic inch V8, available in 3 variants, with the top-tier Super Cobra jet delivering a thundering 375 horsepower, especially when paired with the drag pack. That combo, along with 3.91 rear gears and a 4-speed manual, launched the Torino from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.8 seconds. On the quarter mile, it clocked an impressive 13.99 seconds at 101 miles per hour, as tested by Motor Trend magazine. No wonder it was named Car of the Year in 1970. This Cobra wasn't loud in design, but it was loud where it mattered. 9. 1971 Ford Mustang Boss 351. Don't let the 351 badge fool you. This Mustang was a true predator on the strip. With a finely tuned 351 Cleveland V8 under the hood, the Boss 351 delivered 330 horsepower, forged internals, high-flow heads, and a sky-high 11.7-to-1 compression ratio, making it one of the most underrated Mustangs of the era. According to Motor Trend magazine, it tore down the quarter mile in just 13.8 seconds at 104 miles per hour, putting bigger-engined rivals to shame. The 351 cubic inch V8 wasn't just about raw power, it was about efficiency and balance. Despite being lighter than the big blocks, it packed enough punch to rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6 seconds flat. For Mustang fans who wanted speed without the bulk, the Boss 351 was the ultimate sleeper. Number 8 is the 1971 Chevrolet Corvette LS 6454, coming in hot 454-, a rare and rowdy beast that marked the end of the big block Corvette era. With just 188 units ever produced, this was a true collector's car, built for those who wanted raw speed with fiberglass flair. Motor Trend tested it in stock form and it clocked a quarter-mile time of 13.72 seconds at 102 miles per hour. But with a few tweaks, 4.56 gears, side pipes, headers, and slicks, it rocketed down the strip in 12.64 seconds at 114 miles per hour. Under the hood, it packed a 454 cubic inch LS6 V8, officially rated at 425 horsepower, though many say that number was underrated. With modifications, it could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.3 seconds, turning this Corvette into a street-legal missile. 7. 1970 Dodge Challenger RT 446 pack. The 1970 Dodge Challenger RT 446 pack was a Mopar muscle car, brutally fast, surprisingly streetable, and packed with old-school swagger. It didn't carry the mystique of the 426 HEMI, but it delivered a massive performance that was easier to live with and easier to find. According to Motor Trend magazine, this beast tore through the quarter mile in 13.62 seconds at 104 miles per hour, proving its straight-line dominance. Under the hood sat a 440 cubic inch V8, fed by 3 two-barrel carburetors, making a stout 390 horsepower and an earth-moving 490 pound-feet of torque. That kind of punch launched it from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.7 seconds. Dodge built 1,640 of these legends, making it more accessible than the HEMI, and just as intimidating at the drag strip. 6. 1970 Plymouth Superbird. With its long aerodynamic nose and towering 23-inch rear wing, the Plymouth Superbird looked like it came straight from a sci-fi movie. But it was built for one thing, that is pure speed. It was designed to dominate NASCAR and lure Richard Petty back to Plymouth. This street-legal rocket was more than just a wild-looking ride. The Superbird stormed the quarter mile in 13.5 seconds at 105 miles per hour, putting it right up there with the era's fastest machines. Under the hood, it packed the legendary 426 cubic inch HEMI Phi 8, cranking out a monstrous 425 horsepower. From a standstill, it could rip from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.5 seconds. Both Superstock and Motor Trend magazines confirmed its strip credentials, making the Superbird a true blend of racing pedigree and drag strip muscle. 5-1970 Buick GS 455 Stage 1. At first glance, the 1970 Buick GS 455 Stage 1 looked like your typical luxury cruiser, but under the hood, it was an absolute beast. Buick packed this sleeper with a 455 cubic inch V8 that churned out a factory-rated 360 horsepower. But here's the secret. Real-world numbers pushed well over 400 horses. Even more impressive was the monstrous 510 pound-feet of torque, the highest torque rating of any muscle car in 1970. According to Motor Trend, it ripped through the quarter mile in just 13.38 seconds at 105 miles per hour, with a blistering 0 to 60 miles per hour at 6 seconds. It wasn't just fast, it was brutally smooth, making it one of the most refined yet dangerous muscle cars to ever grace the drag strip. Number 4. 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner 426 HEMI. The 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner 426. HEMI was the perfect blend of muscle car aggression and quirky charm. From its cartoon-inspired beep-beep horn to its menacing air-grabber hood, this car didn't just look fun, it was built to dominate the drag strip. Under the hood sat a monstrous 426 cubic inch HEMI Phi 8, delivering an impressive 425 horsepower and a pavement-twisting 490 pound-feet of torque. It screamed from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just about 5.6 seconds, which was jaw-dropping for its time. But where it truly shined was at the strip, running the quarter mile in 13.34 seconds at 107.5 miles per hour, according to Superstock magazine. Affordable, iconic, and terrifyingly fast, the Roadrunner was no joke. This bird could fly. Number 3. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 LS6. If there was ever a muscle car that backed up its looks with pure brute force, it was the 1970 Chevelle SS 454 LS6. This beast didn't just growl, it roared with authority. During quarter-mile testing, CarCraft recorded an impressive 13.12 seconds at 107 miles per hour. Perfect gearing and sticky traction made all the difference. Under the hood sat the legendary 454 cubic inch LS6 V8, the most powerful engine GM ever put into a muscle car at the time. It cranked out a factory-rated 450 horsepower, though real-world numbers often pushed even higher. The Chevelle could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.4 seconds, making it one of the quickest street cars of its day. According to both CarCraft and Hot Rod magazines, the LS6 was nothing short of a drag strip dominator. Number 2 is a true street-legal predator, the 1970 Dodge Challenger RTSE 426 HEMI. With its muscular stance and thunderous HEMI engine, this beast was built to intimidate anything in the other lane. Only 287 of these cars were ever built, which makes it even rarer than the famous Cuda muscle car models. It stormed through the quarter mile in 13.1 seconds at 107 miles per hour, proving its drag strip dominance. Under the hood was Chrysler's legendary 426 cubic inch HEMI V8, pumping out 425 horsepower and an earth-shaking 490 pound-feet of torque. It could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.5 seconds, blistering for its era. According to CarCraft magazine, the 4-speed manual with 4.10 gears gave this Mopar menace both traction and terror in equal measure. Number 1, 1970, Plymouth HEMI, Cuda. Taking the top spot as the fastest muscle car of the 1970s is the untamed beast, the 1970 Plymouth HEMI Cuda. With bold styling, shaker hoods, and wild high-impact colors like limelight and inviolet, this car didn't just look aggressive, it was aggressive. Powered by a legendary 426 cubic inch HEMI V8, the Cuda pushed out 425 horsepower and an earth-moving 490 pound-feet of torque. According to CarCraft magazine, it stormed down the quarter mile in just 13.1 seconds at 107 miles per hour, with a 0 to 60 miles per hour around 5.4 seconds. Only 652 HEMI Cudas were ever built in 1970, making it not just brutally fast, but also incredibly rare. This wasn't just a car. It was a street-legal weapon. That wraps up our countdown of the 10 fastest quarter-mile kings from the 1970s. These weren't just cars. They were rolling time bombs of torque and tire smoke. Whether you love the sleeper Buicks or the untamed HEMIs, this era defined American horsepower at its peak. Which one of these muscle monsters would you put to the test on the quarter mile?